Welcome to video 3 of my review of the real life numbers mod for FS22. This video is focused specifically on the my crop growth XML file, as it can give troubles if you are unsure of what you're doing. So you can find this in the mod setting real life numbers folder for whichever save game that you've created that you want to customize. The purpose of this file is so that you can set the growth calendar for each specific crop that is on your map. Take note up here at the very top, you can email the mod maker directly if you have questions or suggestions, or you just want to thank him for his work. He does reference mod hoster as the download site for his mod. This says it's version 1.0.0.9. It's because he didn't do any updates to this for versions 1.0.1 or 1011. Now, within this mod, to customize it as you see fit, the winter crop must specify the first and last month that they're dormant. He sets them by default as November and January. What it means by dormant is they will not progress a growth stage during these months. So November, December, and January, it will stay at the same growth stage as it entered November. February, it will then start doing its normal growth stages. For crops that you seed in the spring, must leave those parameters as 0, as they do not have any dormant months. Let's see, so here he's going over different information about winter seeding and spring seeding for like wheat, barley, canola, oats, etc. He does warn you that if you activate this script in an existing save game, your crop growth states may be affected, so be aware of that. Let's see here. So here he's just saying deviations from real life, all crops typically grown in U.S. regions, and then he gives a list of what is typically grown. Sugar cane specifically has a growth cycle of more than 1 year, but FS does not allow such, so it's set to 11 months. The game will not start if you define it as a winter crop, so it has to be seeded and harvested within the same year. So let's look at this down here. So we got wheat. Wheat cycle 1, you seed it in October, you harvest it in June. It does not grow does not progress any growth stages from November to January. Then you could also seed it in April and harvest it in August. If you want this to be only a winter crop, and you set your seed month 10, and let's say you set a seed month 9 as well, and then harvest in June and July, or however you want to do it. The second dormant set of numbers must remain 0 even if this is winter month planting and summer harvesting. If you set this second set to any other numbers than 0, the game will not start. It will prevent, same with sugarcane, it will prevent the game from starting. I learned this from experience. So leave those second set as 0. Whether that's a spring plant or a winter plant or fall plant, it does not matter. Leave them at 0. Okay, so you can go through each and every single one of these. If your map has additional fruit types, you can add them in here and set the cycle for those, as long as your name system matches that fruit type on the map. If you have a fruit type in here that is not on your map, so let's say you customize this for a map you're playing that had rice on it. And then you copy this over to another save game, but that map does not have rice. If that fruit type is still listed in this section, the game will not start because it does not recognize rice as the fruit type. So you can always cut and paste any of these fruits down within this section here, the comment out section, if you don't want them used. So say, for instance, you want to use the default games cycle for sugar beets and potatoes, etc. You would cut them out and put them down here. So that way these do not change it and you don't have to try to match them up with the default game or the map maker's settings or what have you. Let's say you want to use the map makers for most everything except for, say, wheat. You want your own for wheat. Then you would just copy, cut, and paste everything else down in this section. That way it uses the map's default values except for the one you leave up here and above. I do believe that is about it for the crop growth XML. Not too hard, as long as you get past this this issue of having those set as 0. Don't do what I did. Don't try to set the number there. Leave them as 0. All right. If you have any questions about this, feel free to contact the mod maker. Otherwise, if you have any other questions about the mod, leave them in the comments below and I'll try to address them as